How's it going, everyone? It's Daigen here, bringing you another Melty Blood type Lumina video, and today we're going to talk all about shielding. So we're basically going to talk about all the properties of shielding that you really need to know, and about, of course, the shield wars that happen and the different types of things you can shield and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and get started talking about shields. So of course, starting off with the basics, D button is going to be the shield button. This is going to be a standing shield, this is going to be a crouching shield, and this is going to be an air shield. Now, when you actually do shield on whiff, meaning you don't connect with anything, the opponent didn't hit the shield, it actually takes a little bit of your moon meter. As you can see, Shikitono's meter is slowly going down. There's about 10 levels for there to be a total, and every time you do it, it goes down a level. So just keep that in mind when you're actually doing shield. Now, you can still do shield even though you don't have a level. It's just it takes a level when you actually do use it and it doesn't hit. Now, per shield, you actually get a little bit of life back, and of course some gray life as well. Now, it's per shield, so not, you see I hold it, you only get it one time. Now, if I let go during the sequence and I do it, you see I get it back every time. So as long as it's a brand new shield every single time, you will get life back and some gray life back for doing that shield upon success. However, if you do a shield within the wrong direction, you will get fatal counter, which means the opponent will have more untech time to do their combos and will gain additional damage for the combo they're going to do. It's important to note, for every hit of shield, you actually have an opportunity to change the block direction of what you are shielding. For example, here I can constantly switch the direction as long as it's an attack that can be shielded in the direction of where your opponent is attacking. So for the Hisui example that I'm using here, both of the attacks are mid, meaning I can change my guard between high and low shield. This is going to be something that's going to be very important to know when we're actually dealing with things like projectile Oki and characters are going for mix-ups behind it. So as you see in the basic example that I made right there with the maids, Hisui actually did plant Oki, and from there I was able to crouch shield at first, then she went for overhead, so I was able to stand because she initiated another attack, and then she went for a low right afterwards, which I was able to crouch block because then again she went for another attack. So there was 3 sequences where I was able to go from down to up to down. Now, of course, at any point of that, I could have used any of the counter attack options that we're going to talk about next, but I just wanted to showcase the importance of how this actually works so you could use it for when you're actually defending against certain things like this. Now, before we actually talk about the counter shield options, I want to talk about what each shield actually allows you to shield within the game, and exactly what can be shielded with shields in general. So let's go ahead and start talking about this, starting with ground shields. So ground shields, the crouching shield is going to be able to shield anything that is a mid or a low. So as long as it's a mid or a low, the crouching shield will be able to do it. And this is going to be shields in general. Shields are going to be able to basically do anything, be able to shield anything, including supers, heats, all of the above, as long as it is not a throw. This is the only thing that can be shielded. As long as it's not a throw, then it can be shielded within the game, including unblockable attacks. But blockable attacks are going to be in the category of having to be stand shielded. So you got the stand shield on blockable attacks. Yes, you can shield these. This is a blockable attack, you can shield it. And of course, anything that is an overhead has to be stand shielded as well. Now, the same thing applies to air shield. Everything pretty much can be air shielded. The only problem with this is they just can't be behind you. So if anything hitting behind you, then this is where the shield in the air will actually miss. And of course, this could be air thrown as well. So this loses to air throw, and of course, anything that hits behind you that's where that's going to lose. Same thing with these shields. If a person gets behind you, this won't protect you either. So as long as they're in front of you and they are not doing a command grab, then you'll be able to shield it, as long as you're doing the shield in the right direction for the attack. Once again, these are for overheads and unblockables. This is for mids and lows. Before we actually jump into the shield war interactions, I want to talk about exactly what you can actually shield cancel into from the initial shield that your opponent does, because there are some restrictions from this that I think is very important to know. So what I mean by this is, when a person actually initiates a shield, the game actually allows you the chance to get a shield back yourself, and this is what it starts the initial shield war system. So this isn't something normally you can do until your opponent actually shields. However, you have only certain options that you could do when this happens. So for example, you can do this pretty much from any normal, including unblockable attacks, and any specials. Now the game is going to stop you from doing this off of certain things like moon skills. So I can't do it from moon skills. You can see I have to hold this, so I can't do anything. And of course, EX moves. So EX moves and moon skill moves that are shielded, you have to hold what the opponent is doing to you. This even stops your extra options that you get off certain things. For example, moon skill moves have the ability to be jump canceled like this, like certain ones like this, but if it's shielded, you no longer have options like that. So the opponent actually gets a true punish on what you just done. So these are things to keep in mind. If you shield certain things, you get guaranteed punishes on some of these things that are shielded. This also applies to jumping attacks as well. So if you do a jump attack, you can actually still get your shield out, as you can see. Now there is going to be something else that's also restrictive, and that is going to be invincible things. So Shiki here has a DP. This is his B version. This one has invisibility. Notice how I can't cancel into shield from this. However, if I do the A version, he can cancel into shield from the A version because it doesn't have invincibility. Same thing with Arcade. If I do the invisible version, which is 2-2B, I can't cancel into shield. However, if I do the A version, which doesn't have invincibility, she can cancel into shield from that because it's not invincible. So the game wants you to have somewhat of a smart interaction and not do crazy things and be somewhat rewarded for it. If a person shields an invincible attack, they want you to be rewarded for that. Okay, so finally it's time to talk about the actual shield war options themselves. We're going to be starting off with the A one, which is going to be the launcher. Now there's 3 initial options you could do. There's also a 4th hidden option that I'm going to tell you about later. Now, when a person actually initiates the shield, you have to engage with them. If you don't press anything else outside of like really shield, then you really can't do anything. You can't DP, you can't super, you have to shield back or do this other option that we're going to talk about a little bit later. So when a person actually do this, you have to engage with another shield. And when you shield them, this is where the guesses start to happen. So just showcase what a little bit of this looks like. This is the first instance. Us just pressing the A. Nobody wants to get hit. So you shield them, you shield back, or they shield back, and then you shield again, right? So that if they know you're going to do immediate shield, then the Arcade could do something like this. So say if I do the immediate shield again, then all of a sudden I get hit from that. Because I'm not protecting my back, like I said before, if you get hit from behind, then you actually lose because the shield doesn't protect you from behind. So what do you want to do on that? You want to delay. So if I delay the shield, like that, then I can win. So it takes me to delay. However, once again, if we do the first shield and I try to delay, then I get hit by this. So that is the mind game, is you don't know if they're going to cross up, so you just delay, or you don't know if they're going to go into the immediate A, which if you delay, then you just automatically get punished by the A. So you don't know if they're going to go into the B teleport, or you don't know if they're going to stay in front and do the A, and it's just the mind game of that. Now, that's when you bring in the C option, which is going to be the BC. So BC is going to be the last option we're going to talk about. So the BC option is going to look like this. So that's the BC option from Arcade she just did. This is going to be the I don't want to deal with this type of situation, I just want out. Now you'll notice something very important about this option is that it actually takes moon gauge meter. So you look at Arcade's meter, it took about like 1/4 of a meter. However, the person who initiated it, or the person that is on the opposing end of the shield, they can actually do this too. It's going to cause more for them. So if I press BC from the shield that she did, it is going to cause half of mine and about 1/4 of hers. So the person that's on the receiving end of the shield has to spend a little bit more moon gauge to get out of the situation. If you don't have it, then you have to play the war, or you have to let them out of the situation as well. So this is something that can happen right here. If I shield it and then do it, I can go back and chase them, and then I spend a little bit less meter for that. So once again, if you know that they're going to try to use the BC, or you just shield and you see that they did the BC and you want to chase, you can do it and spend about 1/4 of your meter to try to go chase them as well. And then they would have to shield to punish this. So just to showcase this from the opposite end. So that is what it looked like if you actually put a delay between it. Like I said, that is from the opposite end of it. If you hesitate on it, then they get a chance to shield back. So if you do it immediately, you can punish them. But if you hesitate just a little bit, put a slight delay, then they could do that, and then they could punish you. So there's this mini game between the BCs, and you're constantly spinning your meter to like go into another one. So as long as you have meter, you can play like this extra air game with your opponent, and then sort of get a hit from them. And of course, if you get that hit from there with the BC, then you actually can get a full combo from that. So as you can see, you can get a full conversion from that, and that is pretty much the BC part of the actual Shield War. Now that we understand the guessing game between the Shield Wars of the in-game options with what beats what in the RPS type situation, what is the fourth option that I was actually talking about? Where it's actually very simple, and the option is simply do not engage in the Shield War. Now, of course, you have to engage within the first part, but you don't have to keep engaging with your opponent. Shield has a considerable amount of recovery, and you can actually punish this or try to punish, especially if the opponent is holding it, because you know the opponent is going to try to shield you back. So just a quick example of this. If we have Archwave initiate a Shield War and then hold it, what happens if you don't just shield back when she's shielding and then you go for a punish on her? Remember, you can see where the opponent is guarding and go accordingly. If she was crouch blocking, then I could try to go for a quick overhead, or I could just simply throw her if I don't think I get the overhead in time. This will make your opponent start thinking about, should they even start trying to shield you again? And all of a sudden, then the Shield Wars become a little bit more interesting as far as what the opponent may try to do. And this creates another layer of the whole type of thing. Just showcase it one more time. She shields. She shielded one more time. She tries to shield back. I don't engage in it, and I punish her because she was holding shield. And I've said, no, I'm not going to just do a counter attack from the shield option. I'm going to just let the shield recover and see you shielding and then punish you accordingly based on where you are actually shielding. So this is a very fun option and interesting to see exactly how your opponents actually deal with this. And it's something you could definitely use inside your game plans versus people who really just want to initiate Shield Wars but don't really understand it. But once you're fighting people that actually do understand it, this is where it's going to be interesting and creates a very unique layer within the game. And lastly, now that we know all the options, there's just one final thing I want to talk about when it comes to actual shooting, and that is shooting projectiles. Just be wary that because 3Cs actually do have a bit of head evolve within this game, you can actually still be punished for trying to go behind a shield. So for example, if Archwave tries to go behind a shield, Love could definitely just 3C you, which is the launcher, and pick up for a full combo. I don't know exactly what the combo is, but you know, he can definitely do that if you're just trying to shield behind him and go for a punish. This is something that zoners or people with projectiles, as long as they're on the ground, they have at their disposal. So just keep that in mind. And that pretty much covers everything I really want to talk about as far as shielding interactions within this game. Hope you guys found this useful. As always, if you got any comments or questions, definitely let me know in the comment section below, as well as any suggestions for future videos that you guys want to see. Anyway, if you like anything I had to say, drop me a like, I greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, follow me on my socials. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you know the next video goes live. As always, my name is Daikin, and I'll see you next time. Signing out.